Hello.
Hello.
Well, everything I was going to say has been probably said this morning, so you can all go home now.
You don't get off that easy.
Oh, okay. All right. Okay, so welcome to me and everybody here. It's a beautiful day for us to be hanging out together because we've got this gorgeous daily words. I'm going to use the one for Saturday as well as the one for Monday. So you're going to get a double dosage of the daily word quotes probably through the morning. But the thing is that the big thing is that it's a moving spirit that we have in this universe. Now, I'm just going to apologize before I start because some of you may be more conversant with everything about the universal energy than I am putting in this talk, and I hope you'll forgive me. But there's a quote from Charles Fillmore that was in his book, Prosperity. I have unbounded faith in the all-present spiritual substance increasing and multiplying at my word. And that's a direct Charles Fillmore quote. One of the most difficult things is our genuinely pleasing awareness of the literal physical presence of the spirit of life and creativity within us. We may talk about it, but it's very difficult to really actually believe it all the time. When I was a little kid, it wasn't talked about much. There were sort of vague things around about, I don't know, there was a presence in the clouds and the sky and what have you. And there's a cute story which I've told possibly here before, but I think it's cute. I was 3 and my mum and I had flown up from Melbourne to Sydney and back again. And I was just allowed to go to the kindergarten at the Church of England across the corner, across the street from where we lived, because you're allowed to go to the kindergarten at 3. So I trotted across the road and I walked in and I saw this big picture up there and there was a big cloud. I can still see the cloud, big cloud with a couple of angels sitting on either end of it. And I don't know, something in the middle, maybe Jack and maybe Jesus, I don't know. That didn't bother me. But I looked at it and I thought, I've just flown through the clouds and I didn't see any fat old angels. And so I had this thing about whatever they were showing in pictures wasn't true and all this sort of stuff. So when I was older, I learned more about space and physical things and the makeup of the universe. Now we know heaps more about it because we've had the trips to the moon and all this sort of stuff. And we've had astronauts talking to us and science talking to us. And there's all sorts of shows that have shown us things from the scientific work of the astronauts and showing that creative energy is here, there, and everywhere in everything. And also we've been shown that there's not just even one universe that has all these wonderful vibrations in it that are the same. There are more universes that are being discovered as we go. Now, yesterday's daily word, I just want to read some of that. The Gospels tell the story of Jesus and his disciples crossing a lake when a sudden storm fills their boat with water. Jesus remains asleep even as the winds grow stronger. Awakened by his terrified disciples, Jesus, unperturbed, quietly calms the waves with an authority that amazes everyone present. The same divine quality of faith that emboldened Jesus empowers me to remain poised and confident in any situation. Centered in our awareness of the Christ presence within, we can be quick to recognize and release our fearful thoughts by denying their power over us. I think clearly and I concentrate fully. Assured by faith, I do what is mine to do. My calm presence helps maintain harmony. I loved that one for yesterday. I thought that was really good. So we have the same power and the same faith to remain poised and confident in any situation. So there we are with that little one. So how do we do with this? Do we do this all the time? Does anyone here that's on the thing do it all the time? Would you wave your hand if you do it all the time? Would you wave your hand if you know what we're talking about? Yes, we do, but we don't necessarily do it all the time, do we? Some are very young. There's probably not many people on this particular call that are that young, but there are some who've been born with all the stuff about space science available, and they may be very with it, and they're meant to find it very, very, very quickly. Now, I still have to say I don't have it with me all the time, but I know that I can get it. I live near the Space Center in Florida, the NASA thing where they used to send the moon rockets off, and saw, you know, the stuff around about the moon rockets. And I could actually watch them when they took off. I could see from my backyard a bit further south, I could look out there and watch the spacecraft going off into space. And I saw blokes after they'd come back, and I saw some in the Pacific Ocean when I was living in Hawaii. They had been dropped into the ocean after a moon trip, and they were coming up, and we cheered them as they walked up to the space station on Hawaii. And we talked with some. There was one bloke in Florida. There was one of the astronauts who walked, the 8th man to walk on the moon, actually went to the Unity Church in West Palm Beach, and he used to give talks there and to teach classes to people. He was a lovely man, and he was the 8th man to walk on the moon. So we had lots of things around when I was in the States. I was in the early 80s, where we had contact with actual space travelers. However, I wanted to get it, that I had it in me all the time, but I didn't. I didn't have it that I had it in me all the time, what they were talking about. But anyway, the concept has been around for a long time. And we've again tried and we've heard various people talking about the same concept within us over the years. Many of us have got the concept, and we've got it with a thing that attached to it saying, yeah, well, I'll get it someday. Does anyone else relate to that? I'll get it someday. Hands up if you do. I'll get it someday. And so it's in the future. I think it's very difficult to know that we can get it in the now and then forget it so quickly. So the concept of it's in each of us, and it's everything is something. I've heard about in the ordinary time and circumstances. Everything is the same in the ordinary time and circumstances. I'll get it one day. Many of us have meditated and experienced glimpses of it in our meditation experiences. We can very often get wonderful experiences where we can be right out there in the universe and part of the whole thing. I have a lovely thing about watching knowing that everything in the universes, or universe, we'll just do it with one, everything in the universe is filled with the same stuff that is in every cell of my body, every part of my brain, every part of my being. And it's like, I get this picture sometimes, it's a square where it's a whole beautiful garden of everything all joined together, and it's all chopped up into little tiny bits all around, little bits, and we're all reflections of the whole thing. And so each one of us is a reflection of the whole thing, and that's really a fun thing to imagine. The other thing that I'm very keen on doing is stopping and thinking that we have the vibrations of everything that creates the universe and is in the universal energy, creative energy, in every cell of the body, and stopping and just sitting quietly and just thinking about, say, the fingers on your hand, and think about all the cells that are in each finger. And every cell there has the creative energy of the universe in it. And then we think about the other hand. We think about the palm of the other hand. Every cell in that has the creative energy of the universe in it. And going, just stopping from time to time and going through the body and thinking about how we have glimpses and a moment or two of really, really, really believing and thinking that the universal creative energy is operating in every cell. Does that make sense? Just wave to me if that makes sense. Does it? Does it make sense? Good. All right. Because sometimes I think I say things and it makes it not very clear. Most of us have more to go, however. I've been in situations that have been difficult, uncertain and scary, and have remembered eventually to focus on the presence and power of creative principle and the Spirit of God, and I've got through them. I've been totally off track and terrified, and then I've remembered and gone back, and as I center into it, I can get through. And I've been through all sorts of difficult situations, as I'm sure everybody on the screen has been through. We've all been through tricky situations, and in the middle of it, we can remember that we are really one with the spiritual energy of the universal life force, and we can get through it with that, not with our intelligence or our particular set of beliefs or anything, but with that creative energy that we remember is in every cell of our body. So and then we have this wonderful thing of thinking, maybe one day I'll do this all the time, and my life will be full of spiritual cheeriness. And I won't ever have to worry about anything. And if I could get to the stage where I didn't really have to worry about anything, it would be just marvelous. But it's a matter of finding out how to do it close to the time. There's various ways to do the concentration. We can think about the cells and the legs and the body of us. We can think about us being part of a huge picture, all chopped up into little tiny bits. We're all the same part of the picture, and we're all part of it. We can imagine light vibrating and rushing down upon us. Let's just do that now. Let's just stop and sit and imagine, just close our eyes and imagine that the universal creative energy is rushing down, flowing into us, filling us up, filling into our head and shoulders and hands, arms, chest, and belly, and legs and feet. Just for a moment, imagine it flowing down, filling us. And we can see the light vibrating off us as this energy is fulfilling us. And then let us bring ourselves back into awareness of here and now. And wasn't that a nice feeling? And wouldn't we like to do it more often? And did it only take a few seconds? When we think about it, how quickly it happens to us when we decide to let it, we know that we have the time. People say, I don't have enough time to meditate for 5 hours a day and do all this stuff. Don't have to do it for 5 hours a day. Just a few seconds every so often through the day, and increasing our awareness will work. So let's try it. Let's go and try doing it. Now, the daily word on Monday was about freedom. And so I'm just going to get that out and turn over to Monday. This is for tomorrow. The Christ presence within guides me to freedom. I'm a spiritual being without limitation. The strength and power and love of God are always mine to express however I choose. Living my life from this awareness is my key to lasting freedom. I might lose track of that truth in my daily life. I may believe there's not enough money, time, or energy to do the things I would like to do. In those moments, I may feel discouraged because my freedom feels far away. I think we've all experienced that from time to time. I can reclaim my feelings of freedom when I keep my divine identity at the forefront of my consciousness. When I feel constricted by limitation, I pause and affirm. Every feeling of limitation withers in the presence and power of God, which is always mine to express. I am free in God, and I claim that freedom now. So get that. I am free in God, and I claim that freedom now. What does that mean to you? How does that go really in your meaning? It's very important that we play with these ideas and get to enjoy them, because we have various ways and we can do all the practice that we want. The trick is to live more and more with this awareness, not just in fearful situations. When we're happy, when we're free, when we're just doing normal things, when we're doing the housework, when we're sweeping the floor, when we're just sitting somewhere, we don't have to be in fear or drama or anything, but just think, I'll remember, every cell of my body is vibrating with creative energy. The other trick that I play is, when I get to such and such a place, I'll be able to use and feel whole and free, right? We have this thing about, when I get to such and such a situation, I'll be able to practice this. When I get everything put together, when I have everything unpacked, when everything is put away, whatever it is, when I've done all my paperwork that I need to do, then I'll be able to feel happy, joyous, and free. And the thing is that I can do it right now before I've done all of those things, and do those things that I need to do with the spirit of freedom and connectedness within me. I can make it easier and quicker to remember that I do have the spirit, the creative energy within me. Oh, when I've got other things finished, you see, I've got some paperwork that I've got to do. I've got to sort some paperwork out. I've had it sitting on a table here, which I hope I have hidden from you by sitting in front of it. I've had it here for ages, and I've been meaning to sort it all out and put the paperwork, put the stuff that's finished away and throw it out, and put stuff in folders and just get it reorganized. I've had it there probably for at least 2 months. And I keep on saying, yes, I'll do it tomorrow. I'll do it tomorrow. You know, we keep on thinking we'll do the thing in the future, or a lot of us do. So when I've got other things finished, then I'll be able to feel happy, joyous, and free. When I'm good enough at doing the right thinking, there's always stuff in the future. But we have the thing with this daily word that we just had, where we can claim our feelings when we feel constricted right now. In fact, when we feel constricted, it's the best possible thing for us, because we can then go immediately into the creative energy. I call God the creative energy of the universe, just so you know. I don't use the word God a whole lot. It doesn't worry me, but I don't use it a whole lot. I tend to say creative energy of the universe. And I love that feeling. I can stop and celebrate and affirm many times a day the truth of spiritual vibration present and the power in every cell. So if we, through the day, practice stopping for a moment here and there, we can really get somewhere, and take time for every part of the body over the course of a day. So we just look at the spiritual vibration and pressure within each cell of the body. And as we do that, walking around, having a shower, cleaning our teeth, as we do it, look at the clouds and the sky, and we vibe with it. And the furniture, we vibe with the furniture that's around. Look around at the furniture in your room and realize that you vibe with the creative energy in every cell of your body and that every bit of that furniture. It's all come from creative energy, hasn't it? So make time to flick our awareness to the presence of the creative energy. As you're feeling your hands, as you're looking at your desk or wherever you're sitting, and you're looking at the machine in front of you with the screen, imagine that the creative power of the universe is within you right now. And as we take that into our present, we thrive because we're alive, because we're awake, because we're one, because we're aware of it, we thrive. We don't have to think we're going to thrive in the future. We have the presence and the power within us to thrive now. So let's take a few moments to practice feeling ourselves alive and thriving. So if you will and want to, please close your eyes perhaps and relax. See if you can just lift your shoulders up and flop them down and relax them a bit more. Feel the shoulders relaxing just a little bit more. And be aware of the facial muscles. Think about your eyes for a moment and feel the eyelids. Allow them to relax. And while they're relaxing, remember that the creative energy of the universe is within them. And as you're gently breathing, think about the breath coming in and moving out from the body. And think about the good, amazing work that it does in refreshing the energy of the body. And the air is coming from the creative energy to the creative energy, through the creative energy. So even as we're breathing, we are moving and utilizing creative energy. I am using creative energy. Wow. I will be aware of using it. So let us just take a few moments to be aware of the creative energy, breathing in and out of our bodies. And as we're aware of that, let us remember also that our brain, our mind, is operating with universal spiritual substance. With the energy of the universes. Our mind, our thoughts can be guided by this spiritual creative energy, so that we can arrive at a place where we have no fear, where we only have this moment of completion, complete utilization of the one presence and the one power. As we do this, we are aware that we are thriving. Our lives are absolutely places where we're thriving. We are doing an amazing moving forward of the human race. Each one of us, as we say thank you and use the creative energy right here, right now. And we can give thanks in this moment in time and in the future as we remember to arrive at the place of peace and power and connectedness and thrive from the place, with the place, with the connectedness. I am alive to thrive. Would you like to affirm that with me? I am alive to thrive. I am alive to thrive. And once more for Jack Boland, I am alive to thrive. And so it is, and so we let it be. Amen.